Happy New Week. Good morning. Welcome to Morning at NTV. My name is Malaki Vilodera. Now, today on the Kickstarter segment, we'll be talking about what you have been reacting to. And this we saw last week, of course, the 5th of October, 2018 on Friday, when the teachers were celebrating the World Teachers' Day. And here in Uganda, the celebrations actually happened in Kabarole district. Now, that didn't come just like that. It came with fresh demands from the teachers. And in studios to talk about that and so much more is Mr. Philbert Baguma, who is the General Secretary of the Uganda National Teachers Union. Thank you so much for joining us, sir.
You're welcome, madam.
So we saw celebrations with new demands. Now you're demanding that the government needs to foot for the funeral expenses of teachers.
Yes.
Where did this come from?
This is in the policies we have. We have the Public Service Standing Orders 2010, and it is provided for any civil servant, although it is not being done for teachers in particular. Mm-hmm. Yes.
And after doing maybe your investigations, why is this? Why is it that only the teachers are segregated and left out when it comes to this particular facilitation?
That's why we are asking, and that's why we are demanding that government should meet its obligations.
One would ask, if this has not been happening over the years, then why now? What has changed?
It has not been happening, and although it is provided for, it is within the standing orders, and as teachers we are also entitled to a decent burial, leave alone caring for us when we are sick. That one is a miss. It is not provided for. But to begin with, we are looking at what is already there and what does not need any procedural kind of arrangement, but what should only be implemented as it is in the policy. Yes.
But why now? Don't you think the timing is incorrect, especially now that the last time we hosted you and what we've been seeing from UNATU as the umbrella union protecting teachers, we still have outstanding issues to do with low pay, low living standards of teachers, delayed salaries. So do you think the timing is right?
The timing is very right, because I'm talking of standing orders for 2010. This is 2018 ending. So we are not talking about something new. We are only reminding government that they have an obligation, which is in black and white. Yes.
Mr. Baguma,
yes,
let me bring this scenario back to, and maybe break it down. Of course, we always see what people have to say, especially last week when, UNATU came out strongly to say that this time round, government also has to foot our funeral expenses.
Yes.
And what many were saying is, even within a home, there are so many needs and expenses that have to be catered for.
Yes.
But you have to stick to the budget. And when drawing a budget, you stick to priorities.
Yes.
So if these other needs and priorities have not yet been catered for, why then bring another need, and yet the most important ones have not yet been addressed?
What is most important and what is not important? If they can bury others, why not teachers? Recently, you had the parliament passing how many billions for burial expenses? Do we have first-class Ugandans and third-class Ugandans? We are only reminding them of an obligation that has gone silent. It is not a new demand. It is provided for, and therefore they must meet their obligations like any other civil servant, and like it is done in all other spheres. All other civil servants are catered for. So why not teachers?
During the celebrations in Kabarole district, the Minister of Education and Sports, Madam Janat Musavani, was actually in attendance. And you still tabled the same demands
Yes.
And in her response, she actually said that we totally hear you. We are not deaf to your cries. Of
Yes.
course, her being the minister. And she said that, of course, there are other things that we can do and others we can't do as at now because of lack of finances.
Yes.
And I'll still use the same analogy. You're in your home, for example. Let me use your example if you don't mind.
Yes.
You have
no
children,
problem.
right?
Yes.
And they come and say, Daddy, we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things.
Yes.
And you sit them down and tell them, okay, fine, Daddy can only afford 1, 2, 3. Let's prioritize. What do you want? What's the most important thing?
Okay.
And you explain to them and tell them, because Daddy can only afford 1, 2, 3, be comfortable with that as I work on affording 4, 5, 6.
Yes.
True?
Yes.
And you'll expect your children to understand that.
Yes.
You don't expect them tomorrow to come and say, we now need 5, 6, 7 now, after explaining to them.
Yes.
Madam Janet Museveni did the same thing. She told you that we are already grappling with delayed salaries. We're already
Yes.
grappling with increment of salaries.
Yes.
Let us deal with that first before we get into other matters. Don't you feel like you're being overly demanding?
I think Ugandans need to understand the realities. We don't prioritize death. Death has to come whether we want or not. And when a teacher dies, it is like any other civil servant. So if other civil servants die and they get what is provided for in the policy, why does it become different when a teacher dies? Not even a condolence message. Not even a district official going there to attend burial.
This has
Are
been
they
happening.
rendered third-class citizens? So we are only saying priorities must be set, budgets must be made, but budgets must take consideration of what is in the policy. Why did they think in their wisdom to put the provision in the policy if it was not necessary?
Mr. Baguma, okay, fine, let's get to it. And remember, you can also take part in this particular conversation. The hashtag is morning@NTV, that's on Twitter. You can also stream us live and drop in your comments. NTV Uganda, that's on Facebook and YouTube pages. Mr. Baguma, in case government does not move swiftly, like Madam Janet Museveni said, they don't have enough funding, what would be your move next?
Right now, for us as an institution, when we realized they were not attending to us, we have started in our own simple way. And we are barring our own teachers by contributing 300,000 shillings to the bereaved family.
This is as UNATU.
As UNATU.
Okay.
But we are putting it to them. We are also Ugandans. We are citizens. We are voters. For those who make budgets and omit the plight of the teacher, at the time they need us, we shall pay back. If you think as a district, you can plan for all others and leave out the teacher. Then at the time you need the teacher will remind you that the other time you forgot me. And therefore it is also my time not to think about you.
When you say teachers will pay back, what do you mean?
Why do they discriminate teachers? And if you don't mind about me, why should I mind about you? If they make budgets at the district, and all other departments, if a secretary dies, if an office messenger dies, the whole district will close and all vehicles will go for burial. When a teacher dies, nothing. So what do you expect from the teachers? Should they keep on looking and business as usual?
When you say payback, what do you mean?
There are times when they need us, and there are times when we need them. So if I need you and you are not there, when you need me, I will not be present. Yes.
For example?
At the time when they are looking for votes, teachers are also voters. Yes. This is a serious matter. Yes.
Okay, all right. We totally hear you, and we hope that government heeds to that. You have said that UNATU covers the expenses of the funeral by, you know, giving off.
It is not covering. It is just a contribution.
Facilitating.
That's why I told you.
Yeah.
We have started in a simple way.
In a simple way.
Because if people have neglected us, then we must be there for ourselves.
You have said that you facilitate and you contribute. You just add on to the expenses, to just ease off the expenses, 300,000 Uganda shillings to every teacher that, you know, leaves, dies.
Yes.
Where does this money come from? Is it that the teachers contribute to a certain kitty within UNATU? Where does this 300,000 come from?
The teachers who are members of UNATU contribute subscription dues. And it is from this subscription. How much is that? 1% of one's salary.
Okay.
And it is from this subscription that we get the 300,000, which we contribute when a teacher or member dies. Yes.
And over and above contributing to the funeral expenses, where does this remaining money go to? Break it down for us in terms of expenditure of these particular contributions.
Yes, we have 1%, and when it comes, then we segregate it. We have money which we send to the branch, to the district and municipality. We have money which we send to the region, and then we have money which remains at the center to run the day-to-day activities of the union.
So when this money is sent out, what is it sent out to do?
It is sent out to, one, to facilitate the meetings for the leaders, because like these challenges we normally have, we have to get them from the members. And then the leaders at that level have to have meetings. Of course, when they are coming for a meeting, they are coming on behalf of their colleagues. So you have to have transport for them, you have to have lunch, some water for them, and they go. So in some areas we have offices we are renting, and in these offices we have attendants. In these offices we have to pay them. Yes, we have utilities where you have an office, you have a computer, you have to pay for power, you have to pay for water. Then there is communication. We have publicity. We produce newsletters. We produce charts, posters on our advocacy issues. Then we also conduct trainings.
Okay.
Yes.
So it's well broken down.
Yes.
I'm getting feedback, and someone is asking.
Yes.
If you have an entire pie, and the pie is cut into the different demands that you have.
Yes.
One of it is increment of salaries.
Yes.
The other one is lack of pay. Some of them are not paid and others are even paid. And you actually alluded to the fact that even in September, some teachers have not yet been paid. And then we break it down and we also put the issue of funeral services. And the ministry gives you X amount and says, now choose, what area do you want us to focus on? What would you say as UNATU? You
see, I don't know why this was the only item picked out of the very many we presented. Because we didn't say barring teachers is our first priority. But we are saying salary or welfare of the teachers is paramount. But while it is there, like any other civil servant, there is an obligation that the government must meet. We are not putting it as something which is new. We are reminding government that in the public service standing orders, it is very clearly stated on what government is supposed to do when a civil servant dies. So that is not something that we are demanding that we want government now to look at this. No. But we are reminding them to implement what they have on paper.
If today they sort out the issue of low salary payments, the issue of delayed payments,
yes,
the issue of quality of life for the teachers,
yes,
would you be at a happy state as they tell you wait until we get more funds to sort out the issue of funeral expenses? Would you be at a comfortable state?
For today, they have not been barring us.
I'm asking a question.
And the members have been barring
If the other
themselves.
priorities are sorted out.
Which priorities?
The issue of lack of pay,
yes,
low pay, you still want your livelihoods to be, boosted.
Yes, yes.
If that was sorted out today, remember the analogy of your children.
Yes.
If you give them pointers 1, 2, 3 and provide for them as you had sat down and agreed.
Yes.
Wouldn't you expect your children to be comfortable as you hustle more to afford 5, 6, 7? It's the same case. If the government is to cater for your salary increments, paying the teachers on time, the quality of life, would you be at a comfortable state and wait on the government to get more funds to sort out the issue of funeral expenses?
That would be okay.
Okay.
That would be okay, provided all Ugandans are treated the same way. Because there are categories of civil servants in this country who are better off in terms of what you are narrating as priorities. But they still have these funeral expenses. So as long as we all belong to the same country, we don't expect discrimination at any level as it is in our constitution of 1995.
So what you're saying is if you're to choose, if you're given this pie, if you're to choose, the first priority would be salaries to be increased,
yes,
salaries to be paid on time. Of course, funeral services can come.
That can come later.
Thank you. At least now
but
we have your record, yes.
As long as it applies to all other civil servants, we don't want to see discrimination because our constitution condemns it.
Okay,
yes,
let's get to Madam Janet Museveni, and of course we will play her bite in a few minutes. During the celebrations of teachers in
yes,
Kabarole,
yes,
she actually alluded to the fact that she is calling out on the teachers to do their work efficiently and perfectly well. And she pointed out to the issue of teachers not turning out to their classes on time, others dodge.
Yes.
In the rural areas especially, they will
yes,
prioritize to go first to their farms before they go to their classes, and of course that will affect the students and the quality of learning. So the major pointer, as she was saying, government will address all these other woes, is teachers need to also step up and do their job.
Which is perfect.
As UNATU, what have you done to make sure that your teachers deliver excellently? Because the quality of education has been a conversation that we've been having for quite a long time. What is UNATU doing to ensure that their teachers deliver?
You see, we have had rhetoric questions all over. One, why are teachers not in school when they are supposed to be in school? We need to address that and then follow them. I want to give you an example. In Amorata district, we have 7 teachers. They have not been paid since October last year, 2017. Do you expect them to go to class and teach efficiently and effectively? In Namisinwa, we have over 50 teachers. They have not been paid since July last year. You expect them to teach? When you go to Ntungamo, we have teachers who have not been paid since June this year, since June. In Fort Portal municipality, we have some teachers who have not been paid since June. That is to mention but a few. Then we have those who have been underpaid over time. So we need now to look at these gaps, fix them, and ask why teachers are not in class, because they are appointed and deployed to work.
But how about the teachers who've been receiving their pay on time and they still don't perform excellently?
Very good. We have structures. We have head teachers, we have inspectors of schools, we have DEOs. Do we have any documentation to that effect? Have they been subjected to disciplinary action for the sins they have committed? Because the structures are very clear. We shouldn't come here to lament. A teacher is supposed to be in school by 8. If he's not there, there are procedural elements we need to follow and bring this teacher to order. So if some quarters have not done their work, let us not continue to lament because it is not going to help us. Let every stakeholder play his or her role, and then we come and say, you were supposed to be here, you were not there, this is what you are supposed to face. For us, we have mobilized our teachers, our members, and we have told them, you must have your professional accountability.
So you speak to them?
Yes. We have conducted membership education in all districts this year. And the message is very clear. While we are tasking government to improve our welfare and well-being, we must prove that we deserve it. And that is by having professional accountability. We must be responsible for why we are in schools. And that message is very clear. But also, all other stakeholders must play their roles. Because it is not only the teacher who will bring out the learning outcomes that we expect. The parents must do their part. Government must do its part. The teachers must do their part, and all others, so that together we build a strong foundation and we achieve the quality of education we deserve in this country.
As we come to a close,
yes,
whenever UNAT2 has demands and the demands are not met,
yes,
you have this habit, I'll call it a habit or a tendency,
yes,
of threatening for industrial action towards examinations. Now we are gearing towards the final examinations for the year, for the candidates.
Yes.
Just give us, especially the parents, confidence that this will not happen.
Yes. No, these days we are in dialogue. We are engaging because we feel we need to engage the stakeholders. We need to talk more, and we need to bring realities on table, discuss them. It is not always in our interest to go for industrial actions, but it normally comes as a last resort.
So this time round, no industrial action.
We are not planning for the industrial action in this period of exams, but we are still continuing to engage. And we expect the stakeholders to have a listening ear. Because the moment they don't listen and they become adamant, then we have no option but to go for that last resort. But the parents should keep calm. We are not planning for one in this examination period.
Thank you so much for that assurance, and also thank you for coming in studios. Always a pleasure to have you. Keep your views coming. The hashtag is Morning at NTV. What should be the priorities for the teachers? Is it the funeral expenses to be covered? Is it for the teachers who have not been paid for quite a long time to be paid? Is it the salary increment and the betterment of their welfare? What exactly should the government be focusing on, and what should you not be comfortable with? That will be the discussion. That has been the discussion as well. Keep your views coming. We'll be sure to sample some of this. He will look at that as well. Nowadays, he told me that he is tech savvy. So that has been it for Morning at NTV on Kickstarter segment. We'll still continue. Up next is Reality on the Ground with Andrew Chamagero. Keep it here.